Well, City Council meets tomorrow, and councillors will be voting on a controversial motion whether to give themselves a raise. In a motion for Wednesday's meeting, Councillor Sean Menard recommends staff include an adjustment to the salary for the mayor and the councillors with what the new salary to take effect on November 15th in 2026. Here's what Ottawa's mayor said about the issue back in July.
We need to focus on other priorities right now, and even though I respect the work that councillors do, and they're if you were to figure out the hourly rate for their time, it wouldn't be fair. I think this job is about public service, and you serve the community, you do it for a certain amount of time, and then you go do something else.
A lot to unpack here, so we're going to check in with Bill Carroll from the Morning Rush on News Talk 580 CFRA to get his thoughts on that. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. How are you? What are your thoughts on this? You know, a little bit of extra money for the councillors and the mayor during a time where the pockets are getting a little bit thin.
I've never been one to get too concerned or upset about how much or how little politicians make. I think if you want to attract good people, it has to pay a decent salary. And there's some things you could compare here that suggest maybe the City of Ottawa council members could make a little bit more money if you compare them to provincial MPPs who just got a raise and are now $20,000 or $30,000 above a city councillor. Listen, it's a very large city, and the geographical areas that many of these council members have to serve are huge. So it's a pretty busy job. Most council members, whether I agree with their politics or not, are there to serve the public and do something good, and they work hard. Some of them are political opportunists who can't wait to trade up for a job in the provincial legislature or for the federal government. So, yeah, I don't really get upset about it, but I think the timing here would be terrible. I do think Ottawa City Council members are a little underpaid. They did just get a raise back in January, though. And as the city is about to face some real tough economic headwinds, we're going to see many federal government workers laid off in this city. It's going to impact on our tax base. We got a tariff war going on with the U.S. Times are not looking good right now. They should have had the courage to give themselves a raise when times were better. To do it now, I think, well, I'm not going to be yelling and screaming about it very much on the radio. I think the public will be mad. I think there'll be a lot of pushback to it. And they'll say, this is just greedy. And many will reflect the mayor's view, which is, if you want to serve the public, serve the public. You don't have to do it forever. No one's asking you to do it. No one's putting a gun to your head. It's public service. You're not going to make the same money. Look, the mayor is running a big organization. He could make this much more money in the private sector running a private organization of similar size. But that's not the point, the argument is. The point is, it's public service. I'm of a different mind to that. I think it's public service, yes, but you need to pay decent wages, or you get people for whom this will be the best job they will ever have. And I don't think we necessarily want that kind of member of City Council. We want members of City Council who are really smart and accomplished and qualified to do jobs that could pay a lot more, but are making a bit of a sacrifice. Not the other way around, that they're grabbing that job because otherwise they'd be working in the back room somewhere at Costco.
Yeah, it's not to negate any of the amazing work that they're doing. It just seems to be that the timing of this, given all the things that you've noted, the tariff wars, the economy, the federal government workers that are going to be laid off, which we don't really know the numbers as of yet exactly impacting us here in the city. So I think that'll probably be the fight back, will be when people will look at the current salaries and then go, well, maybe me or my family or my partner, we aren't even making that, and you want to raise during this time. That might have a little pushback.
Yeah, especially when we have a municipal election next year. That's a question that will be asked at the doors. So are you ready to answer it? If you are, then give yourself a raise. If you're not ready to answer that question, I think I'd vote against it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we always appreciate your time. As always, Bill, have a wonderful show on this Tuesday.
Have a good one.
You can listen to The Morning Rush with Bill Carroll on News Talk 580 CFRA. That's weekdays from 6 until 10 in the morning.